Trans rights are human fucking rights!
Change their vote.
Who was responsible for that equipment? The Afghans.
When you still want power, the only...
Whoa, not sure what happened there. Oh, wow. Well, I guess that's how we
Who was
start things
responsible
today.
for that equipment?
Holy cow. Yeah, if you're a tolerant person, you attack people in San Francisco. Also, John Kirby says that Afghanistan was totally fine. Nothing happened there. Tennessee lawmakers get expelled from the House, and more coming up on this episode of Daily Caller Live. My name is Jobob. Thanks so much for tuning in. Daily Caller Live starts right now.
2, 1.
Here we go!
Might be the only brown guy on earth named Jobob.
That is actually their name, Jobob.
Live from the dingy bunker, completely cut off from the outside world, except for you fine folks. My name is Jobob. Thanks so much for tuning in through our technical difficulties this morning. On today, it is Good Friday, April 7th, the year of our Lord 2023. Hope you made plans to go to church this evening. If you haven't, there's still time. But a lot going on in the world. There's apparently some new information. By new information, I mean an analysis of the information from Afghanistan. John Kirby in the White House press briefing room made some comments on that. The Tennessee story, you know what? Screw the setup. We're just going to get right on into it. Yesterday, the Tennessee State House decided to expel 2 of its members. They voted on 3, but decided to expel 2. Now, what did they get expelled for? This is just so indicative of how stupid the media and politics is. And I honestly, God, don't really like using that broad strokes term, the media. Like, what the heck is the media? The legacy media, the old-fashioned media, the print media. I saw a headline. The first thing I heard about this is I saw a headline on MSNBC. Because I follow MSNBC and I watch MSNBC so that you good folks don't have to torture your eyeballs by doing it. The headline that I saw on MSNBC is Tennessee House votes to remove legislators for protesting gun violence. To which I responded and she said, that's it? That's all it is? It's just protesting? They were just out about in the community protesting and the Tennessee House is going to get rid of them for that? Or possibly, is there something else going on? Is there some other things happening here? I didn't know at the time. I had no idea. But I was curious. Hey, is it just protesting like this headline says? Tennessee is going to vote to remove 2 Democrat lawmakers for protesting. How dare them? Or is there possibly a bigger picture? Does anybody want to read more than the first paragraph into this before we jump to conclusions? Does anybody want to do a minimal amount of homework when it comes to this? Or are we just going to say, oh, it's because they protested and people don't like protesting and therefore they're going to vote to remove them? What kind of how I laid this out this morning is this. We're going to watch the second member to get removed. We're going to watch him get removed. Or they, I don't know if it's a they, he, they. His name is Justin. I'm assuming it's a him. But how dare I assume in these times? Watch this. This is the vote that took place to expel him second from the House. I was just interested in how this all looked. Watch this.
We're voting on House Resolution 63. All those in favor, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote?
Now, on whether or not to expel Justin Pearson
Mr.
will
Clerk,
be announced.
take the vote.
Aye, 69, 26 nays.
Having received the concurrence of 2/3 of the members to which the House is entitled in the Constitution of the State of Tennessee, House Resolution 63 is hereby adopted. Without objection, the motion reconsiders tabled. Pursuant to Article 2, Section 12 of the Constitution of the State of Tennessee, I hereby declare Representative Justin J. Pearson
66
of the
votes.
86th
It appears Justin
Representative
Pearson, as you're just seeing right there, has been expelled with 69 votes in favor to expel him. We needed 66 votes to announce a formal expulsion. He has now been expelled, joining Justin Jones, who had also been expelled. Gloria Johnson survived her seat with 65 votes, just one vote saving her seat. Folks, I have to tell you the optics there, as Gloria Johnson referenced herself, perhaps the only white out of the 3 Congress members there and representatives that had been saved her seat. So there you see it. The Tennessee House voting to expel 2 of the 3 Democratic lawmakers for their objection to gun legislation.
Holy crap.
2 weeks ago. This is the culmination of that. This is a historic moment right now, as you see playing out. State legislature there in Tennessee.
Wait a minute. I think that's Aaron Burnett. Also not reporting the gosh dang story right. Okay. Look, you can disagree on stuff. That's fine. If you disagree on gun violence or gun control or not or whatever, fine. Let's have a conversation about it. But let's not just completely misreport the freaking story. These Democrat lawmakers were expelled for voicing their opinion. Okay, how did they do that? We'll get to that in just a second, but I want to talk about this whole idea of, well, it was 2 black guys and a white woman that were up for removal, and because the 2 black guys got removed, oh, it's racism! Look, okay, just so you know, at the culmination of this little segment, I'm going to show you the actual video that got these people removed. And then I think most people, most rational, logical people, even if they disagree, can go, yeah, I can see how that happened. But first, I want to play this. This is the clip from the Gloria, Professor Gloria here, teaches race baiting 101. She was asked after her non-removal vote, why do you think it is? And I'll let her explain. We've got freaking CNN race baiting people, and now this person. Watch this.
And we're going to fight hard to get him back.
Gloria, why do you feel like there was a difference in the outcome between you and your colleague?
I will answer your question. It might have to do with the color of our skin.
Hey, maybe it was a weight issue.
Oh, yeah.
I shouldn't have said that. That was mean. I love you. Like, at this point, it's just funny. Maybe it was because of the color of our skin. My eyes don't roll back in my head far enough. It clearly wasn't. I don't care if you're a Republican. Look, okay. Well, let's just get to this clip. This is the clip of, and this is hard to find, by the way. Nobody was showing this video on the cable news last night or any of the news last night. I think it was on ABC. I don't know. There was one big outlet that did show this, but most people didn't show this, and it's hard to find. I couldn't find it on Twitter. I had to dig through a bunch of videos on YouTube to find the video of the actual reason why these dum-dums were getting expelled from the Congress. Right? Because the first thing that popped in my head, going back to the very beginning of this segment, I saw an MSNBC article saying Republicans are voting to remove Democratic lawmakers for protesting. I go, okay, clearly that's not the case. Anybody's allowed to protest. It doesn't matter if you're in elected office or whatever. It's how you do it. What are you doing specifically? Well, this is what they were doing specifically. They took over the House floor with a bullhorn. You can't do that. You can't do that. There are rules and there are conduct regulation and there's decorum. You can't just walk into the floor of the House in which you represent as a legislator and take it over with a bullhorn unrecognized. If you want time You can speak. You will be recognized to speak if you want to voice an opinion or protest. What you can't do is march into the House with a bullhorn and just decide to start talking. It's against the rules. And if you don't enforce those rules, therefore punish the people that break the rules, what uses the rules? I know this is a weird thing if you live in California or New York where people don't enforce the rules, but in polite society and in a society and culture that has any amount of logic, if you break the rules, you have to suffer the consequences of the rules. Watch this. Okay, I'm gonna watch this. Watch this video. It's kind of long, but also, okay, so also keep in mind this. While you're watching this, watch the two dudes who, again, are just dudes. I don't see them as black guys. They're just guys. Or they're just people. They're just legislatures. But watch them and what they do versus the other lady that said, well, maybe it has something to do with our skin color. She kind of just stands there is what I'm getting at. Just watch this. We're going to let it play on for probably longer than I need to. But watch this and we'll discuss on the other side.
No peace! No action! No peace! No action! No peace!
All right, I'm going to mute it here really quick. So just so we can watch here. You got this guy Justin who's holding up a sign and is taking over the podium with a bullhorn, unrecognized. You got the other guy here that also got expelled just to his right. You've got all of the people saying, "Hey, look, this is not cool. We can't have this happening. What is going on?" Then he takes the bullhorn. Now, I want to point out something. Gloria, the one who said, well, it's probably because of race, had she taken the bullhorn, I would almost guarantee she would also have been expelled. But as far as I know, and as long as I've watched this, I didn't see her actually do that. So there is a difference. Okay. Listen back in and we'll... So, like it says, a bunch of silly billies took over the state house. I don't know. I don't know if I should get worked up over this or not, but because this stuff happens all the time, and this is just a classic case of the media either just freaking lying or just flat out getting it wrong. They weren't kicked out because they protested. They were kicked out because their choice of protest was to commandeer the House floor with a megaphone and decide to lead a violent insurrection, if you will. It wasn't, by the way. It was just yelling on the floor of the Tennessee House. They decided to do that. So yeah, if you break the rules, that has consequences. And also, I'll throw this in there. Maybe they were okay with doing that. Maybe Justin Jones of Nashville, who was invited on this show, by the way, I Instagram messaged him, said, hey, you're more than welcome to come on and talk about it. I almost will 100% guarantee that he's going to say no or just not respond, which is fine. Even though I'm in an interesting place now from a follower's standpoint where I know people see when I send them messages. It's a weird thing that Instagram has with priority and all this sort of stuff. But he or somebody, whoever, he probably runs his own Instagram account, will see that message and will ignore it, which, is fine. But at the end of the day, I would love to ask him, hey, did you think you had more power? And people who run for political office are generally megalomaniacs and want more power and attention. Do you think you had more power and attention as a state legislature, or do you have it now? Let's check really quick. On Instagram, Justin has gained since I screenshotted his profile late in the day yesterday, he had 38,000 followers on Instagram, which, again, is power in the mind of a bunch of Gen Zers. How many Instagram followers do you have? He had 38,000 and is now at 119,000. He's going to break 100,000 followers for the day from his stunt that he pulled. So I would love to ask him, was that the goal? Was the goal to get in front of as many cameras as possible so you can get as many Instagram likes as possible to eventually get brand deals and raise money and make this your political activism career? Because honestly, nobody knew who he was as a Tennessee House legislator. Nobody had any idea. But now the nation knows who he is. So maybe he knew that he was breaking the rules, and not maybe he knew he was breaking the rules. They all knew. Everybody knew that they were breaking the rules. But maybe they didn't care because they know in the long term, well, now I'm famous on the internet and I can go raise money and advocate for causes like Stacey Abrams does. Is a professional advocator for causes. But yeah, at the end of the day, when you want to talk about the whole race thing, if you watch the video, it has nothing to do with it. If this was two 50-year-old white guys who walked in with a megaphone and took over the floor and commandeered the afternoon for the entire legislature, I'd be like, yeah, go ahead and kick them out too. I don't care. Anyways, there are several comments that I what's it called? Got here. Barbara says they were the first ones to condemn the January 6th of the Capitol invasion, but didn't relate what they did as bad. Yes, that's a big thing. We called jokingly, of course, all of the protests within the Capitol, which you're not allowed to do. You're not allowed to do that. I called it a violent insurrection, mostly jokingly. Susan says it absolutely was more than a protest. Yeah, so, hey, MSNBC, CNN, maybe fix your headlines. I wonder if, so in order to be able to file a lawsuit for defamation or anything like that, you have to be personally aggrieved. I wonder if my mental sanity of the horribly untruthful, intentionally misleading headlines affects my mental sanity so much that I have a suit against a defamation suit or a grievance suit against the liars in the legacy media. Chris called this way early. This is a long time before this. The expulsion part, the left will call it racism. Correct. Has nothing to do with racism. It is that you commandeered a house and decided to use it for your own platforms. Willow says, it was an insurrection. Mark says, why does race even play a part in this? The media sucks. Yeah, I don't know. That's my question. What I saw was two individuals, regardless of their color, age, seniority in the House, do something that's not cool and got punished for it. And lastly, Peter says, it was not about the protests. It was about etiquette. Yeah. Legislature houses have etiquette rules, and you have to follow them. You have conduct rules, and you have decorum. And actions have consequences. That's what he said at the end of that. So there is that. All right. Feel like enough of this stuff is going on. Let's get to this. This is a TPOSA event in San Francisco yesterday. The reason why, dude, okay, let me know in the comment section. Do we keep talking about how a bunch of lefties are very afraid to have conversations? Yeah, I don't know how much we continue to say the same thing when speeches get shut down. I was in San Jose giving a speech to about 100 people on Wednesday. The next day, Thursday night, last night, Riley Gaines, who is a swimmer who rose to prominence for saying the obvious things about Leah Thomas, was going to San Francisco. I thought about also going, but I'm like, I want to get back home and all that sort of stuff. But anyways, last night, a tolerance attack was crybabies, but also like I don't want to necessarily be demeaning. I feel like these people are just, there's something wrong, and I don't know how much us making fun of them does. Anyways, Riley got attacked yesterday in San Francisco trying to talk. Again, a woman wants to say words, and people decide that that's unacceptable and physically assault her. I'm going to play you this video. I will warn you in case for some reason you have tender ears. I didn't cut any of this. All of the language is still in there. There was just too much of it. I didn't have time, so I didn't chop out any of the actual stuff. So you're going to hear some F-bombs. If that really, really offends you, go ahead and tune out for the next minute or so and then come back in. And yeah. Watch this. This is the tolerance side. The people that are pro-tolerance physically attacking people. Check it out.
Trans rights are human rights! Trans rights are human rights! Yeah, you fucking transphobic bitch! I fucking see it! Trans rights
just
are
me.
human rights!
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good. Trans rights are human rights!
I'm coming. I'm good. I'm good. Trust me. I'm good. Go ahead.
Trans rights are human rights! You crying! You fucking crying, bitch! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Trans rights are human rights! Trans rights are human fucking rights! Bye, bitch! Bye, bitch!
You dress like a communist.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Trans women are women! 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 Trans women are women!
Got to disperse.
Yeah. Okay. Well, solid tolerance attack there at San Francisco State yesterday. I assume that tons of arrests were made, and the prosecution will act swiftly in charging the hooligans for attacking a speaker. Of course, that's sarcasm. That's not actually the case. But I want to get to some of these comments. Some of these guys are pretty thoughtful and insightful here. Kevin said, Marxist ideology always reduces everything and people into categories because it's a weapon from ages ago to convince people they to have internment camps like Germany once did. Yeah, pretty insightful. Yeah, that as part of the tactics, that seems to be the case. Just reduce things down to people and categories. There was so going back to the Tennessee story, there's an, I couldn't find the video of it. I just saw it in print. There was an Indian man who is a representative in the Tennessee House, and he got up and said, the only racial experience I've ever had was when Justin Jones, the guy who got expelled, called me brown face, which is just ironic and funny. Okay, man, without going on some crazy rant, I see this a lot in the real world. The people that seem to be the most fervent in the whole racism argument seem to actually have the prejudice in their mind. And that's just, I was telling my wife, this is a random story. I was on a plane back from Austin on Sunday night. And if you fly Southwest a lot, I fly Southwest a lot. I'm A-list priority. It doesn't actually matter. But I get to go on the plane first because that's what happens when you fly a lot. Southwest, you get to sit anywhere. So I always like to sit at the very front row because you get to get off the plane faster and you got a bunch of room. When you sit in the front row, you have to put your bags up entirely. You can't put a bag underneath the seat because there's no seat in front of you. So you have to put everything up in front. And there was a lady who sat across the aisle in the front seat from me, who had a Bernie sticker, not like a campaign, but like the Bernie and the mittens sticker on her water bottle, and just looked like a Bernie type lady. And the flight attendant happened to be black. I didn't notice. I just see flight attendants. Doesn't matter to me at all. But the lady didn't know that she had to put all of her bags up top. So the flight attendant lady said, ma'am, you have to put all your bags up top, and then kind of left. And the lady like rolled her eyes and like, I don't have to do that. That's this bag doesn't fit up top. The top is full. In which case, as an experienced traveler, I was like, well, then you can't sit there. That's like the rules are that you have to put the bag up, because what they don't want to have happen is that there's turbulence during the takeoff, things flying everywhere. So if you're going to sit in this seat, you have to put your bags up. Flight attendant comes back, says, ma'am, I have to have your bags up at the top there. And she, the lady with the Bernie sticker, the super tolerant, not racist lady probably, the anti-racist lady, again, I'm assigning a bunch of this stuff to her, but her Bernie sticker really stuck out on her hydro flask, says, well, I don't have anywhere to put these bags. Being super rude to the flight attendant, who again happened to be black. It doesn't matter to me. It's just ironic. Not knowing the rules that she has to put her bags up at the stupid thing. All that's to say is this lady with the Bernie sticker and the mask, you probably were picturing that in your head already, was super rude to this flight attendant for trying to enforce the rules because she didn't know the rules, and in my mind was giving her a ton of attitude. Because yeah, if you listen to the flight attendant talk, you're like, oh yeah, it sounds like a black lady. It doesn't matter at all, but it's that, yeah, she sounded like one. But this probably pretty racist lady in her head with her Bernie sticker was making a bunch of snide, offhanded remarks and was so in the wrong that I'm like, okay, so this I recognize this stuff happens a lot. And so the people that are such big proponents of, well, don't be racist, I think only think that way because they in their heads are racist. Actually speaking, I make jokes about stop lefty racism all the time, but at the end of the day, it's really not a joke. Like when I walk into a place, if I were to sit there and like count people of different races, yeah, I could do that by the color of their skin. But in terms of like how you treat anybody, it's not any different. I don't care. Who cares? But for some reason, a bunch of your lefty people that are such big proponents of not being racist, in public, in real life, seem to be consistently the most racist. I wasn't planning on talking about that. Anyways, Riley Gaines got attacked in San Francisco, which, holy cow, I ate up a bunch of time telling that story. Sorry about that. At least Jody says, you're very correct, very hypocritical. Thanks, I appreciate it. Let's see. Wow, some people in the comment sections are not having fun with this. Hey, by the way, just so you know, the super mean comments that get thrown in here. Here's what I'll say about that. I really appreciate you. Thanks for helping out in the algorithm. If you don't know this, if you comment on videos or engage with them in any way, shape, or form, including watching them a lot, it really, really does help us out, and it continues our ability to do this show. So if you disagree fervently and you really, really hate this show or me or conservatives in general and continue commenting, thank you. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. It really, really does help us out. Before we go and head off into the weekend, let's get to this. I'm not even going to get to the John Kirby stuff because we're out of time, because I ranted on this flight that I was on. But this is just more indicative of the monumentally stupid times. Watch this from Sunny Hostin as she stokes the flames of political divergence, talking about how Republicans will ever win elections again. Check it out.
Well, that's what scares me more than anything, because, I mean, it's clear that the Republican Party is the party of dinosaurs, right? 1897. It's clear that they don't have any proposals. They don't have a platform right now. It's just grievance politics. It's just scaring people. What I worry about is they still want power. And when you still want power, the only way to get it when you don't have a platform is by cheating. And so that's when you see the gerrymandering. That's when you see people on college campuses being prevented from using their college ID to vote. I mean, they are actually attacking young voters rather than trying to recruit young voters.
Wait a minute. Oh, I didn't even watch that last part yet. So she's saying, how dare people not be able to use their college ID to vote? Is it a government issued ID? Isn't that the whole thing? Like anybody can print a college ID. You know how many fake college IDs I had? If I would have been able to use that to get into various places or vote. Wow, is she making the argument that you should be able to use a college ID to vote? That's hilarious. You know who prints the college IDs? Some hungover, snot-nosed 19-year-old working in the admin office. They got a little printer thing and they just type in whatever they want and print it out. You think that you should be able to use college IDs to vote? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Anyways, back to the main point of Sonny saying, well, yeah, the only ways Republicans win elections is cheating. I'll be honest with you. It is astonishing that Republicans win anything, considering that lefties have the entirety of the entertainment business, the entirety of academia, the entirety of the media in their grasps. All of the unions, they have all of it in terms of mouthpieces, and still manage to lose. If nothing tells you how bad your ideas are, if you have all of those things and then still call yourself the resistance, that's always funny and ironic, and still manage to lose, it is kind of interesting. But yeah, of course, the whole cheating thing. Look, you think Republicans are cheating? Kind of like how the Hillary Clinton campaign paid for a dossier to be created that ruined the first however many years during the whole Russia hoax. Kind of like that cheating. Is that kind of cheating you're talking about? Kind of like ballot harvesting. That whole cheating thing is that where in a lot of your liberal states they say, well, anybody can take in anybody's ballot. That's not going to cause huge problems at all. It's kind of like that cheating. Is that the cheating that you're talking about? Roll my eyes. The problem is, like, I think Sonny's probably a pretty smart person. I think she went to Harvard. I'm not sure. Not that means you're a smart person, but I think she's probably pretty smart. And if that's the case and you are a smart person, it's worse because you're a bad person. If you're a dumb person and are just wrong out of arrogance or ignorance, I can handle that. That's, at least you're trying, maybe. But if you're a smart person and saying something this dumb, that means you're lying about it, in which case, I don't know. Anyways, that'll do it for us today. Maybe we'll talk about the Afghanistan stuff later on Monday. Appreciate y'all sticking around, tuning in. Those of you who have done so the entire episode. Any announcements? Nope. Other than have a great Good Friday. Have a great Easter weekend. Make some plans. Go to church this weekend if you can. Let's see. We'll be back Monday, same time, same place. Next Wednesday is going to be, well, not the last show for a while, but we'll be off for about a week. My wife and I are going to London, so we're going to have some fun there. So we're not going to be doing the show from London. Or at least I don't think. Yeah, we're not going to. We will be off from Thursday, Friday, and then the following week. So we'll miss you guys there. But we will be here Monday, same time, same place. For those of you who watch on all of the different platforms, as we stream this to, I think, like 13 different places, appreciate you doing so. You can follow me on any of the social media platforms. Just type in JOBOB pretty much anywhere. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Where else? TikTok, all of the things. Yes, I am on TikTok. Yes, I'm aware of all of the things. And if it gets banned, it's probably a good thing for the country. So, wherever you're watching this, if you wouldn't mind giving me a follow on any of the social media platforms, we can continue conversations there. Those of you who disagree, who are fervent in the comment section, really, really appreciate that. I don't think you know how much you are helping this show, whether it is on Facebook, YouTube, Getter, Twitter, Rumble, wherever we stream this. I really, really, really appreciate you. And I hope the people that are in the comment section continuing to comment, I hope you know who you are. Anyways, that'll do it for us this week. See you next week. Have a great and blessed weekend. God bless America.